Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Overwatch Weekly Podcast. I'm Bobby J. I got my beautiful pink shirt with Homer Simpson on it. And this time around, I'm going to probably say your name wrong, Beck, but is it BlarueTheZebra? Is that how I pronounce it? BlarueTheZebra? Yes, so I'm right.
It is.
Okay, cool.
You can call me Beck, though, yes.
Okay,
Beck.
well, that'll be a lot easier and less words. Because these two gentlemen just have very short names. We've got RQT, of course, from Team Australia, and Blank Esports. And then we've got Smash, aka Smash Brother, aka Homo Demon from Athletico. And you guys go all the way back, so we'll get into that when back in your World of Warcraft days. But first of all, let's give a shout out to all the crazy communities that help support me and the rest of the scene. We've got Watchpoint OCE, the ANZ hub, so if you're not a part of that new Discord, do it now, but it's at your own discretion, and if you get abused, then it's not my fault. Don't hold me liable. Of course, like Full Circle, hosting the OPC, over.gg with the new power rankings. OC Overwatch, they host the bi-monthly brawls. Cybergamer, they still run Overwatch weekly, so if you're still keen to play some Overwatch during the week, join up on that. ESL for hosting the ESL Open. AGTV, if you want to get involved in our esports scene as a personality or a caster, that's who to hit up. I can give you the link in Discord if you hit me up with the DM. And then the Omen Overwatch Roadshow that we've been touring around Australia with. Beck's doing that this week, so you can go check that out. We'll talk about more about that later in this podcast, but now let's finally introduce the guests. So Beck, first of all, how are you? Beck. Maybe she can't hear me. Hello? Hello?
Oh god, sorry, my name just cut out. I'm so sorry. I told you this would happen, I'm so sorry.
Okay, how are you, first of all? I'm going to you.
I'm good. My internet isn't good, but I am great. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Sweating up a storm because I'm filth. And then we got the boys here. So, Drew, our cutie's coming all the way over from China. What's going on, mate?
Oh, just a lot of travel and sickness. Just got over like a pretty bad cold, so I'm alright. Yeah, could be better, could be worse.
We got
fun in China though.
We got the man who's holding down the fort in the ANZ Overwatch scene. It's Smash Brother. You've got a team full of all the prodigies, all the teenage delinquents. How's it going, mate?
It's all bad. I have to play with Unter. I lost to TJK in an official. It's awful. It's all bad.
Oh, man.
But no, it's all good.
Wait, what team was he playing with?
He's playing for Masterminds, like the yellow team.
Oh.
The original main team, I guess you call it.
I guess we can get into that a little bit later and talk about where they're at with their team, because I just was under the assumption they would end up merging teams together or something. But, in any case, let's talk a little bit about Overwatch, because it's been a while since I've done a podcast, and then haven't really talked about the game that much, because there's been so many changes, especially to Mercy, to D.Va. We've got Doomfist, Junkertown, all these additions to the game. Let's start off with the Mercy changes, because that seems to be like she's a bit of a hot topic at the moment to play in competitive. So, Beck, you kick things off with you. How do you feel about the current changes to the game, starting off with Mercy?
So, to be honest, okay, so I love playing Mercy. I wouldn't consider myself a Mercy main, but I do love playing her. I'm honestly not a big fan of the new changes. More like playing against her, because I feel like no matter how much I do, I can just never kill her. She's too slippery now, and she just gets away, and then like the team doesn't understand that, you know, the healers need to be killed at some point.
Yeah.
So it's a little frustrating, but change is welcome. So who knows?
What about you boys, Drew and Ben? Someone chime in.
I'll let you take
Do you
it
wanna go,
first. You go.
All right. I like it. There's new changes coming. I think they might be out today, but the current one that everyone's pretty used to is pretty damn strong. Once she hits that ult, like, she's pretty hard to kill unless both tanks like jump at her straight away. So if you don't kill her straight away, you basically won the team fight if you got your ult off. I think she's really strong, and since I get to play it, I'm enjoying it because I've been playing Lucio for way too long. So it's a good change of pace for me. But I guess she's just a bit too strong, and like she can go unchecked if you aren't able to kill her quickly. So it's a bit tilting to play against at times.
Your thoughts, Ben?
Well, I liked the changes originally because it increased the speed of the game a bit, with the tempo resing. But it's a bit extreme when you can res like a Widowmaker 3 times, in the space of her dying once. So that's kind of insane. It's good, it's needed, because they needed to change Lucio players to make them play something else. As Drew was saying, playing something for like almost a year straight and not having an option to switch to anything else is kind of bad game design. So it was kind of needed, but she is a bit too strong at the moment.
What about the Diva changes? Anyone jump in right now and put your hand up if you want to talk about Diva?
Diva's like the fucking unsung broken hero, honestly. She does so much damage now, it's disgusting. Who always has got damage in our scrims. Ugh.
The hero is obnoxious. Like, the rockets are just... On tanks, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, honestly, when I'm playing the new Diva and there's a Winston on the other team, I literally wait till his bubble's gone, jump over, rockets, done. He's gone. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, personally, I really like it because I don't know, I love jumping over and just deleting Winston. I know it's terrible. I know she's like way just like strong with all these rockets and everything, but I don't know. I think it might need a few little tweaks, but I'm enjoying playing her. I enjoyed her before, but it's nice.
What about
right now? She just it's like the meta's about punishing tanks, really, and Diva does that so quickly. You can kill Winston so quickly, break his shield instantly. It's pretty gross. So she's pretty strong right now.
What about Junkertown? Have you guys played much Junkertown? How do you guys see it as a competitive map?
Well, it's in our tournament map pool, so we've been screwing it a bit recently, coming off OPC. It's an interesting map. It's really strong for Widow, and we have a pretty good Widow player, so that works out well for us. But you can run a few different things. Like, Dive's not the best on it, surprisingly. You can run more tanks and a bit slower. A lot of teams can actually run an Orisa and play really far back with Widow behind the shield, and it's pretty annoying to deal with.
Why do you think that's the case? Is it mostly to do with the first checkpoint, having a lot of space, or...?
You can run Widow on almost the entire map. The sightlines on all 3 points are just really, open and wide for Widow, so it's not necessarily wide, they're, narrow, but, it's this long choke that Widow can, basically shoot down free without getting touched on, unless, you're able to close the space somehow, so it's just a really strong Widow point. And given that it's an escort map from the start, it opens up that ability to slow push more.
What about you, Ben? Do you guys play a lot of Junkertown?
At the start we did. We've kind of gone off it a bit, but we're getting back into it. I don't know, there's lots of not cute strategies, but the main difference is the change up of tanks. I've seen a lot of Roadhog Orisa used on especially the first point, just because Roadhog can contest the cart pretty much forever with, new take a breath or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But Drew was right. The sightlines are amazing, and it's so hard to get on other maps like Dorado, Gibraltar, and stuff. Tracer can access points where Widow will be pretty easily just by going under or around. But on Junkertown, it's really long and narrow, so the Tracer's blinking in clean sight, and the Widow just has the opportunity to pick her off. So I don't know. It's pretty strong, but maybe we're undervaluing heroes like Sombra on it. I need to learn the map a little bit more, flesh it out a bit.
How do you feel about Junkertown, Beck? And is there any other maps, so any sort of map that you can think of that'd be a cool idea for Blizzard to create and release?
Ooh, well, I've only played Junkertown a few times because of the amazing internet that I have. I try not to do competitive too much just because I got my rank and I was like, oh yeah, this is actually pretty good, and then immediately lost 50 SR because disconnected. But I quite enjoyed it when the first time I played it, first few times. I found it was really, if you didn't understand how to hold the car though, it just goes through so quickly. All of a sudden you're nearly at the end and it's oh okay, what just happened? But that could also be just because I don't really know the map that well, so that's also a possibility there. But I like that they had an Australian map. Quite like that. In regards to different maps that I'd like to see, I would really I don't know how this would work, but some kind of jungle just all jungle. I don't know. Like there's some kind of hidden like base somewhere that's in like the Amazon, and you've got to find it and deliver something. I don't know. I think that would be cool.
Well, isn't Lucio Brazilian? So,
Yeah.
So there's not a Brazilian map, and there's the Amazon in Brazil. What about you guys? Is there any other maps that you'd think would be a cool idea for Blizzard to create? Because it is coming around to BlizzCon. We can start talking about BlizzCon shortly and predictions of what they're going to announce. But let's talk about maps first. Any of you guys have ideas?
I want a map where I can just stand still and relax. So maybe some platform that the defenders have and you can stand on it and it just goes into the skybox. That'd be good.
What? So like the rotating platforms from Volskaya, and the whole map is just rotating platforms.
Yeah, except instead of them going like, instead of going like, they just go up. It'd be good.
It just goes
Just up forever.
and there's
Take me away.
There's no stop. Like, do you just respawn down the bottom? Like it just loops.
No, you keep going, dude.
And there's no end. You don't even die. There's just no end.
Just therapeutic, Lucia needs a break sometimes.
You should get the Journey guys the guys who made Journey to contact Blizzard on making this new map. Then they might.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Might be there for the aesthetics. Do you agree? Do you want something aesthetic like Drew, Ben, or do you want you got something else in mind?
God, what have they done? They've done King of Hill. They've done 2CP. They've done an Escort. What is this? Hybrid next or whatever. So probably like, I don't know, a Swedish map would be alright.
When's the Arathi Basin?
They haven't made an assault map yet, have they?
Dude, let's go.
Arathi Basin.
Yeah, Horizon Assault.
Oh yeah, fuck! I keep forgetting that map. I don't
The
know why.
Warsong goal chat, man.
Wars-
Capture the flag.
Did you guys like the capture the flag mode when they had that? Didn't you guys play much capture the flag?
Oh no, it was awful.
Yeah.
You just had Torbjorns and Symmetras camping the flag and stuff. It's obnoxious.
I got the achievements and didn't do it again.
What about the Halloween event? Do any of you guys play much of like Junkenstein's Revenge?
Haven't had time, personally.
Yeah, it's a time sync thing, but I queued into a random game the other night and got Marcus on my team, which was kind of funny, but it was good.
What, Marcus from Scylla or
No, Marcus from Kiki from
Kiki? Oh yeah.
That was fucking cool, but no, I haven't played much of it.
What about
I
you,
kind of
Ben?
wish they'd done a different event or some kind of a variation of it. Like I know they've added Symmetra in, which is really annoying because I've been playing a little bit of it just because like now that I've got most of the like special achievements, I'm like, oh, I can't miss one now. I have to get all of them. So I've been like basically doing it for that. But I don't know. I wish they'd done something a little different. I understand they've put out so much content and all of this stuff this year, so it's understandable that it's just a bit easier to do a sort of a little bit refreshed version of last year. But I don't know. It'd be cool to see something a bit different.
Yeah, no, fuck them.
Yeah,
like
their resources are kind of spent on fixing the spectator client right now, which I can't complain about.
Yeah.
See, like
Just
Drew
on
comes.
the Halloween event.
I was gonna say Drew comes out with something logical. I was about to say fuck Blizzard. Just give me the fucking content. I don't care. I want more
I
maps for
understand, but
Junkenstein.
they've got so much stuff
I
to
want
do.
it
Yeah. What are you saying, Ben?
Just on the Halloween event, what's
Yeah.
your opinions on the Symmetra skin, Andrew RQT, Symmetra main horse?
And I can't complain. I like what I see.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
Dude, it is pretty fucking sexy. Like, that is one of the best skins I've seen. I was only hoping that the turrets breathe fire. That's the only thing. That's like nitpicking.
Yeah,
That's
that would have been pretty
nitpicking.
sweet.
But that would have been like so over the top, and just having these little flames come through. They would have had to redesign a whole bunch of stuff. But still, like, what are your favorite skins from Halloween? Anyone got any favorite skins?
Ooh,
the McCree
the
one.
Zaya one's pretty
Yeah.
top notch.
The Zaya and the Symmetra, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
How many montages do you expect to see with Zaya with the Olivia Newton song? Olivia Newton, what's her name? Olivia
Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah, with the Let's Get Physical. Do you reckon there's gonna be
Yes.
montages with that? Because I see that shit
God.
happening.
Someone's got to get on that.
I see.
I haven't seen anything.
Every time I see it, I start
Uncapped.
singing that song.
Adam's starting to get into montages, and if you've seen
Oh,
his
shit.
first one, look, it's questionable at best, but God bless him. If he pulls out that, he's kicked. He's done.
Do you know who Adam is, Beck? From Athletico?
Don't.
He's,
Oh, God.
Possibly.
he's the most
Stay away from
adorable...
Adam.
No, he's the most adorable young man there is. He is the fucking
Is
future.
it Adam from Oz on
Yeah,
the
that's
show?
him.
Yeah.
That is him.
Yeah.
He's,
I see him
just
popping
turned
around my
15.
feed. I'm
Yeah.
like, who is that?
he's the fucking future. He is the future. So Drew's waiting. Drew's like, he's got him in his sights. He's either going to snake him and put him on his team, or he's going to fucking take him out.
I'll check him
Take him
out.
out, yeah. Take him out, please.
Shit.
Alright, let's talk about BlizzCon, because that is only a few weeks away. What you can talk about not just Overwatch stuff, but what do you guys think will be announced there? I don't really have any fucking idea other than maybe a new Overwatch hero, possibly a map, maybe
just
Overwatch
excited
League.
that, they're going to announce that Team Australia is the winner of the Overwatch World Cup, so that's going to be
yeah.
pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
You guys got a pretty decent draw, don't you? You have France first, and then the winner
We
of...
have Canada
Oh, Canada, okay, yeah.
Canada be
Well,
and Korea's
tough, yeah.
side, so happily optimistic.
you could go pretty deep. You could go pretty deep.
So who's in the? You've got the same 6 as last time, true?
6 is
The
4.
same,
isn't it?
same 6 players as last time. That's what I mean.
Yeah. So Kiki and Aita. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so the boys, that'd be a good like chance to meet back up with them, because I assume you haven't seen them since the World Cup. Like.
Yeah,
qualifying.
exactly. Been pretty busy with Taiwan and now China. It'd be good to see them again.
Alright, BlizzCon, what do you guys think? Besides Drew and Team Australia winning, what do you guys expect to see at BlizzCon? You start off, Beck. What do you expect from BlizzCon this year? And what do you hope to see?
I'm honestly not sure, because last year, when there was sort of the hype around Sombra, it was very much before that, we were like, okay, we're getting a new hero, this is it. Whereas now, I haven't, unless I just have been looking in the wrong place, I haven't seen too much of anything Overwatch related, at least. I mean, I don't know. It'd be cool to see a new map, because I feel like they've been like grinding out new heroes, pretty frequently. So, I mean, I know they've just obviously done a few new maps as well. So I don't know, but yeah, maybe just something small, because there's the hype from the World Cup. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
They spent a lot on that, so you'd hope there's some hope.
Yeah.
$20 million just for the group stage or something.
Oh
Ridiculous.
my god.
Wow.
The qualifiers in Australia were amazing though. Like that was one of the best
Oh, they-
esports events I've been to. So
Yeah.
big shout out to them to bring it to Sydney, because that was a cool experience. It was like sold out
Yeah,
like
it was
every day.
amazing.
Did you go back?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I went to the little like after party they had on the first day, and I'm not sure if I saw you there, Andrew, but like I saw a few people from the team, and I was like, oh my god, they're right there. Where am I? What's happening?
Yeah, that would have been me.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yes.
should have come over and said hi instead of just being terrified from afar, drinking my champagne.
Dude, he
It was only Serenity, our link coach manager.
How'd you feel when you won, when like Uber jumped up on stage and was acting like a maniac?
Oh, it was pretty damn good. That was pretty good.
Because that would have been a weird feeling, man. Like you're like on stage, everyone's like cheering you guys. I don't know, like everything comes like everything's like worth it, like all the fucking pain of, because no one sees like how much practice it takes and like all those nights on Discord just grinding away.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's just good that like it was entertaining for people, and we got the reception because it was awesome.
because we had our own little crew set up on the second. Oh wait, you were sitting up there before. Like that was where the little old school ANZ Overwatch esports bubble was up
like-
there.
Yeah,
So it was like Ben and
Sydney
I.
was getting loud.
Yeah, good old Cindy. I want to get him and Loserfruit on the same podcast.
Oh
Ooh.
boy.
That's the dream.
I introduced them at the after party.
Yeah.
And Lucifer knew who he was. That was cute.
Yeah, she told me that she has him on her friends list now. So now they're officially
Aw.
friends.
Isn't that beautiful?
So if you don't know about this story, Beck, one time when Loserfruit was streaming, there's there's a young man named Cinderella, of all names. He's a beautiful human. He added loser fruit to his Battle.net friends, and then on the stream, I had her seeing the invite and just clicking deny, and then people made a GIF and like made it real emotional. But
and it was cute and funny.
Yeah, it was like the meme in our community where you used to type like ! Cindy into like Discord, and like it will show you the video.
Oh.
So, and like a couple of weeks ago, we got Oasis like reenacted it, and then got Loser Fruit in on it or whatever. Like she kind of forgot like that happened or whatever. I don't know. It's a long story that needs to be explained in person, I suppose. Anyway, okay, I've like gone a complete detour from fucking BlizzCon.
You really have.
Yeah, we've gone all the way to talk about Cindy's personal life, so sorry about that, Cindy. All right, BlizzCon. I think we'll probably see a hero and spectator client. There'll be like a lot of stuff to do with the Overwatch World Cup. So do you guys think there'll be a spectator client?
Well, they've been working on it. They invited casters to go check it out. Like, Money Christo was there and stuff. I assume others were as well. And like they've been like, it's going to be a big change. So I expect that's either going to be at least announced at BlizzCon, or even just released at BlizzCon. Either way, like that's just something super positive because it's the biggest thing the game has needed. The game doesn't need content right now. It needs fixes for the problems, especially with the Overwatch League coming up.
Yeah.
So this is it, right? This BlizzCon is the big Overwatch League push. Like Overwatch isn't probably going to get a lot of content announced, such as like maps and heroes and stuff, but it's going to get the big push on the spectator client. The Overwatch League is going to get its full reveal. Yeah, you know, they're going to be really pushing esports in this BlizzCon because they need to. They haven't done much they haven't done much in the last year to push it hard, and BlizzCon is their kind of like unveiling to the general Blizzard community. You know,
what do you
so
guys?
that's where they can attract the big viewer base.
What do you guys want them to announce for like the future of Overwatch in terms of an esport? Do you guys like have an idea of like what you want from it?
Just more information and transparency with the league and stuff like that, and like actual dates and stuff. That'd be great. If they release more maps, I'm gonna lose my mind because as a competitive player, it's so frustrating when they add a new map when there's already so many maps. Because unlike like Counter-Strike, for instance, there isn't a map rotation yet. Hopefully there will be if they continue to add maps. But right now, you basically need to learn every map and then hope that the tournament you're in has those maps in it, because they can, you know, choose and pick what maps are in the tournament. Like for OPC, it was every map. For World Cup, they had a map pool, and for APAC, once again, we have another map pool. So it's just, there's some inconsistency, and these are all Blizzard tournaments, so it'd be good to have consistency across the board.
Yeah, definitely an active duty rotation, because how many maps are there now? Like 14, 15? That's something ridiculous.
A lot. And like the other silly thing is until OPC ended, we've been screwing on 2 different patches because OPC was on the last patch. So we didn't always have scrims on that patch because you need actual tournament account. So when we couldn't get scrims with that, we'd have to do live scrims, and live scrims didn't help us much because we were on the old patch where everything was completely different. So consistency on patches would be awesome as well for tournaments.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. Like that is actually one of the biggest problems in Overwatch right now, is the fact that half of the tournaments, well, actually most of the professional tournaments are played on old patches. So if you have these amateur up and coming young teams that want to learn off these you know, professional level teams, there's very, very little current information on it. Only, I think, challenges and maybe the Overwatch Premier Series was played on like current live patches. The rest was just on old patch, and for a team that is looking to these teams to, you know, use strategy and learn, you can't, because you're playing a totally different game to them. Dota had the best and still has the best philosophy on that. Like they patch around their major Valve tournaments, and Blizzard really need to look at that and implement that. Otherwise, they're just going to frustrate the community more and more. Like watching the Contenders finals wasn't engaging or interesting because they were playing a totally different game to what you would play. So, you know, there was no opportunity to learn from it. It was just, and the game isn't in a place right now where you can spectate and be happy spectating it because the client is awful. So I don't know. It's a big issue right now. This is the patch debate.
So there's a lot riding on them for BlizzCon for you guys to want to keep investing. Oh, I know for like you, Drew, because you do this full time, but for someone like you, Ben, as an up and comer, like you want to get to that position where you can constantly just do this full time, like this is your full salary. This is like the big like moment for you to see like where the future's at, whether you want to keep investing your time as a pro player.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, for me, it's kind of just a time sink as well. But
Yeah.
I can see like players in that situation. This is a huge moment, and there's a whole nother debate, especially in the OCE scene, about if it's worth your time to even scrim, even play in a team, or if it's worth it just to, you know, do other stuff that isn't against the terms. I mean, that is against the terms of service, like boosting accounts. Like there are players in this region that are far skilled beyond the top of the region at the moment. Well, not far skilled, but equally skilled. But they don't play the game. They don't scrim. They don't do anything because there's no point investing their time in it. So hopefully Blizzard can turn that around and give us something worth investing in.
Yeah, that's like been a big problem for the competitive scene, because you can just take a look at where we're at with competitions. We don't really have too much. We've got the bi-monthly brawl, which is just community members that have put their time and money together to give something for the teams to play in. And then we've got the ESL Open, which is pretty much just Blizzard's choice, I feel, like just giving out the Battle.net cards. But you're giving those to pro players who, like, was RQT being here, like, before the blank team went over. And people like yourself, Smash, where you've played in 10 plus K tournaments all throughout since your beginning of your career. And now it's down to like Battle.net cards. It's a bit of a kick in the groin to the scene.
Yeah, you're only playing at the moment for the sake of the competition and valuing the competition, you know? You're not playing for the money at all. There is no money.
And for someone like you, Beck, I assume like most of your YouTube channel is based around Overwatch, because you've got like Tracer is your main like picture and everything like that. So is it important to you that this game stays alive, like just not just as an esport, but like as a community, and keep pushing forward? Because there's big games like PUBG that are coming in and taking player bases away from other games. So is Overwatch like something that you want to stick with long term as a YouTuber?
Yeah, I think definitely. And I mean, I totally agree with you guys, with Ben and Andrew, but because I think the thing is as well with when as a obviously not a professional player, I love watching tournaments and all that stuff and being a part of that community of watching you guys like actually do what you do best. And I feel like there are some parts of it that are really well, you know, documented, and they're out there and everyone's so passionate as part of that community. But then it happens, and then all of a sudden there's months where it's like, oh, is anything happening? And there is something happening, but it's not out there. It's not, you know, posted on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, or, you know, and I don't see it unless I come up on, you know, Twitch, and then all of a sudden, there's PUBG, there's all these other games, and then, oh, there's an Overwatch tournament happening right now. What? When was this announced? So, I mean, of course, I'd love Overwatch to stay relevant because I love playing it, and I sort of prefer the community aspect of it because I love playing with friends. You know, of course I like playing Overwatch by myself, but with friends is better. And I feel like if they put a bit more effort into bringing the community together in a more positive way, then that would benefit the game so much more.
Yeah. For the longest time, I felt that the competitive community and the casual community were like completely separate. There's no way to get the casual people over unless you get them into like the Discord communities for our competitive scene. Because there's no way to even know like the stream's happening, because it's just going to be buried down below. Because Twitch is so popular, it's just going to be buried, and there's nothing on the client. If you go into Steam, it will let you know when there's games going to be played on. Even like if you log into League of Legends, it lets you know when the OPL's starting up. There's nothing like that for like our scene.
Yeah.
Dota did that really well with their like ticket system. You could just look, and like every tournament had a ticket basically.
Yeah.
And you could see, like, just being in the main menu, you could just click on a tab and you'd see all the tournaments that were on at that time, and you could just spectate them.
Yeah. So Blizzard really need to take note of what's worked for other companies and apply that to their game, because There's still a lot of
establishing
players.
like competitive scenes, like the tier 2 and below, for like developing a community around it.
And it's so hard to get a new IP to take off, especially if it's an esport and like an online multiplayer based community. They've got they've got it still here because there's like people are going to be patient with Blizzard games. They have in the past. Like look at all the World of Warcraft players, how long they've been hanging on. You boys know all about that.
Oh yeah.
So they just need to make sure like they knock it out of the park at BlizzCon. All right, anything you want to talk about with Overwatch before we move forward in the topic list? Anything like as in esport wise or BlizzCon wise? Or was there any games at BlizzCon like Diablo 3 or World of Warcraft or anything?
There'll be a new WoW expansion pack for sure, right? That's like a given. So that'll be interesting. I guess you'll play that a bit, but also the Mythic Plus stuff. Have you seen that, Drew? Yeah, like the Mythic Plus 5-man esports side of things. They were getting some pretty huge views for that. Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. I was talking to him about it. He won a fair bit of money from that.
Yeah. They were like, their team name was Free Marzi or some shit. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Did you play much WoW, Beck? Is like Overwatch your first like Blizzard game?
Overwatch was my first Blizzard game, but my boyfriend actually plays like all of the Blizzard games, so he sort of introduced me to the different ones, and I've been playing a bit of like Hearthstone and stuff like that. I have a Diablo character on his, like I've got like my own save file and like basically his computer, like when we first started dating, so like I could move it over to my computer, but I'm too lazy. But you know, like I mainly play Overwatch, but I do enjoy the other ones as well.
We're all filthy Blizzard fiends here. Like Drew and I are currently playing Diablo 3 and grinding hardcore seasonal when we get the chances to both jump online together. And both Ben and Drew used to play World of Warcraft together. So I think we might have talked about this. Maybe we just talked about it on Discord or we talked about it once on a previous podcast. But like for the sake of all the new listeners, I want you guys to tell us about the time that you met on World of Warcraft and how you knew each other before the Overwatch community.
He was just a shit then, and I was just the best player in Australia, so I was just insulted. It was good.
It's kind of like, you know, how it is now, I guess. But no, it was just, we played a bit in a guild together for a little bit, and then he moved on to another guild with Gunba, I'm pretty sure. And, you know, we just knew each other for a bit through there. Those two were the real lovers, Gunba and RQT, always together.
Yeah, they're on a romantic trip to China.
Yep.
Yeah. Such romance.
Yeah, dude. What do you guys ever miss World of Warcraft? Is there times that you guys feel like you just want to go back and grind?
Not really. It's just as much a grind in terms of being at the top of Australia for that. Like just in general, the top of the progression leaderboards for that. It's about who can put the most time in now, more than skill. So not really. Like I miss the game sometimes and the people I played with, but I still talk to them and like, not really.
I guess the larger team aspect, because it was like a 20-player game instead of a 5-player or 6-player game. That was kind of cool, but you don't miss the grinding at all. Like the grind was insanity.
Yeah, it's still grind. My parents still play it. They love the grind.
Yeah.
It's obsessed. But man, I don't think I could ever go back to it. It just seems weird. Like I get bored after about a day. Like I'd ride around on my mounts and I think like, what the fuck I'm gonna do now? Like I just enjoyed riding around on my flying mounts or whatever. All right, let's talk about PAX. Are you going to PAX, Ben? I know Beck, you're going, but what about you, Ben?
I'm 50-50 at the moment, but the way that tournament scheduling is, I probably won't, just because I'll have to find like a net cafe to play in or something. But
Zen Gaming Lounge is right next to PAX. Zen Gaming Lounge is right there. Yeah, it is. It's right next to it.
Oh shit! I don't know. Maybe
the options there, mate.
It'd be cool.
I got a spare room at my house. I don't live about an hour out from Zen Gaming, but that doesn't matter.
You live a long way away from Zen Gaming Lounge, but
yeah. Drew's not home. Maybe you can stay at Drew's house. Take his bedroom.
Oh look, I've seen Drew's house. I'd love to stay at Drew's place.
Oh, you get the exclusive tour, have you, of fucking RQT's blank
Twitter
Esports
pictures,
mansion. That's the blank Esports mansion. That's where the headquarters is. So,
We did. Speaking of that, we didn't get a season 2 house tour. That was disappointing, to say the least.
It was a lot, but it's still small. Taiwan, like, you don't get a big house unless you have big money, big money.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And you're going to be over to China then well, you're in China now, but then you'll be over at BlizzCon, so you're missing out on PAX this year, Drew. So
yeah, but I get a free trip to BlizzCon and get to stay in the Sheraton. So
yeah,
I guess PAX, all right, sacrifice.
Yeah, I wasn't saying it like a bad thing. I was like, well, you got something else that's a bit better.
Yeah.
But for the rest
Just
of
a
us,
little bit.
For the rest of us, we're going to be at PAX. So, are you cosplaying, Beck, or what are you doing at PAX?
I was thinking about cosplaying, but then just with like traveling and having the complexity all done and ready and top notch, because I'd really like, if I do end up cosplaying, I'd want it to be like perfect. So I think I don't think I'm gonna cosplay this year, but it could be a possibility for next year. But I'm gonna be like hopefully filming some of the games that they've got there, like there's so many different indie companies that are coming down, and obviously I'm going to be visiting you at the roadshow truck, and yeah, because this is my first year going sort of in this community. I went the first year that it ever was in Australia, just as a little gamer who had only just started gaming, and I thought it'd be cool, and yeah, so yeah, I think it'll be really fun this year. So I'm looking forward to doing a lot more than I did the first year, because I just had no idea what was going on.
That first time convention where you walk around awkwardly and like, oh, this looks alright, I'll
Yeah.
line up now.
And then it takes your entire time. That's why I bless having an exhibitor's pass. I run around and try and jump on things before I have to start working, so I can just test things. Like I ducked into when I was at EB Games Expo, I just ducked in through the curtain, went through the store, bought a mini Super Nintendo, grabbed some clothes and shit, including this one, and then just ran back out and then started work. Because man, those lines get fucking huge. Like even like the line to just jump up on our Omen truck goes around behind the truck. That's why I'm yelling at people, come now, because by the time it's like 2 hours into the expo, you're gonna be waiting there for at least half an hour. The good thing is,
they're all lining up.
What? What's up?
They're all lining up for you. They want some of the Bobby J.
Come on, man. Like you guys already accused me at the start, before we even started this podcast, that I'm not humble. So you're just gonna feed into the ego. That's all you're doing, and then you blame me when I do it.
I'm an enabler, dude.
Well, of course you can. Well, you're doing work on the Omen truck this week. So which
I know, I should be able to skip this.
Yeah, of course. You get VIP status. Okay, so wait, which Omen events that you're working on? You're working on there's a JB Hi-Fi and there's a Harvey Norman.
I have no idea how to pronounce it. Nanawadding or
Nana
something.
Wadding. It's out near Ringwood. Fucking.
Yeah, I'm doing that one on Friday.
Yeah.
Because I think they realize that like most people are actually working during the day on Thursday and Friday, so I am just coming on the Friday, and then so little day trip to Melbourne.
Beware, you may have to end up playing babysitter role, because apparently when they went to Coffs Harbour, parents just dropped off their kids and just left them at the truck, so they're just minding kids all day. So it's a mobile babysitter service.
Yeah, here, take my child and just take care of them for 7 hours. Okay, bye. Thanks.
Even
Thanks,
Loser
ma'am.
Fruit was holding on to babies and taking photos of people. You can check out, if you guys haven't checked out, one of Loser Fruit's videos. It's called Baby Hanzo named. Yeah. So she's up on the truck. That was a lot of fun. I definitely, and for everyone who's coming to PAX, definitely come check out the truck. You'll be able to have fun with me on the stage and talk some shit. And we give away a lot of free stuff throughout the day. Everything's for free. So there'll be lots of people at PAX. It's going to be exciting. So definitely come, Ben. I want to see you at PAX. Last time I saw you, you were incredibly hungover at the World Cup. So it was really hard. And then we're all busy. We all were there to watch the boys play. So everyone was kind of focused in on watching the games. And then you were busy gambling and making money as well.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks for the profit for that one.
Yeah,
but at PAX this year, you got to be wary of a few dangerous fellows walking around spruiking HyperX products. I think Project and Molotov will be there from Scylla.
Yeah.
And they're already threatening to king hit people and stuff. God.
Dude,
So
they're
don't let
set
them
up.
up on the truck, alright?
Dude, they're set up next to us. They're next to us. So I said I was going to get the shirt gun and just shoot shirts at them.
Yeah, make sure you have the high ground as well.
Very
Just
bad.
start
do.
popping off. Yeah.
We do have the high ground. We got that fucking truck up on the big stage there. Yeah. I'm gonna shoot shirts at them and get them to wear an actual fucking brand, dude. Get that HyperX shit. I'm just saying, I love all those Scylla boys, but I'm gonna try and have a war with them throughout that weekend, just for some lols, and see if I can like walk over and start like casting them like over there instead of at my computers up on the truck, and just walk over the HyperX setup. I wonder who else is like casting at PAX. Does anyone know like what else is going there on at PAX? I know that there's a Rocket League finals. The winner goes over to the World
They've
Championship.
got Paladins and Smite and
Yeah.
stuff like that, I
Yeah.
think, going on.
CSGO's
Iris
in
and
league
stuff.
with ESL. We're the only Overwatch like stage
There's
sort of
no-
set up.
Yeah, there's no Overwatch related stuff going on at PAX except
Yeah.
for you guys on the truck.
Unfortunately.
Like when were there last year? I remember how many people were going around asking like, "Where's some Overwatch stuff?" Like, was there any Overwatch like thing on the stage? Because there was CS:GO and Rocket League, and they opened up this
Yeah.
Overwatch competition. I walked over there when the doors opened up, and it was already full. We had to go play PS4 to sign up for a
Wow.
tournament. We won it, of
That's
course,
sad.
because no one knows how to play Overwatch properly on PS4. Sorry if there's any console players listening. But fuck, dude. Oh, I cannot fucking stand those sorts of games on console. Has anyone played Overwatch on console?
I haven't.
I've used a controller on the computer to play Genji, and that was terrible.
Dude, it's not
Pretty-
right.
Pretty sure Jackson did that in our game versus you guys in Summer Series. Fucking Jackson.
Trust him to do
But yeah.
something wacky as fuck. Alright, let's talk about esports results. So OPC, you guys made it through up to the semis. RQT, how'd you feel about the latest season of OPC?
Well, we started with a new roster, so we started off a bit weak. At the end, I think we played really well, and if we kept playing on that patch, I think we'd be solid. If we had done a little better during like the start of the season, we probably would have came second instead of third, because of our performance before the playoffs. We ended up getting seeded against the Korean team, Ardeon, as our first game, which was pretty rough. So if we were on the other side of that bracket in terms of playing a different team, I think we would have made it to the finals. But I'm so happy. It's like one rank down than when we placed last time, and there's a new Korean Overlord team that is absolutely a tier 1 Korean team that beat us. So I'm happy with third place. I think it's still a solid performance.
Yeah, dude. Especially when you get the best teams in the world. Some of the best, like you scrim against the best. You're representing us pretty well. New team comes third. Last season you came second. So you've come a long way. And now we've got Ben. You guys have been slinging hard over in the Aussie scene. You've got the bi-monthly brawl and you've got ESL finals coming up. How do you guys feel about the current results of the bi-monthly brawl and the ESL Open finals?
Well, at the moment, right, like the scene itself is incredibly healthy. Like I don't think we've had such even competition spread over the top 5 teams ever. The one that I've been playing. So it's really good. Like everyone's taking games off each other. Obviously, Four Legs are kind of were the undefeated team until last night, where they had a slip up versus the MGC Blue. Except I think they had Cantus instead of J Doggies, but that doesn't really matter that much. As in, like it shouldn't have been that big of an effect. But I don't know. It's all great. Like the bi-monthly brawl, the format's good. It's 2 best-of-3s on a Sunday, so you're playing not just one opponent. It's really healthy. Having 2 tournaments a week is good too. You know, more officials is better because normally it was just like 1 tournament day a week, and then teams were just scrimming like 3 or 4 nights a week, and it was kind of boring and you know, relaxed. But now it's starting to get a bit more exciting.
Gives the opportunity for more people to get involved as well.
Oh,
For the longest time, it was just like myself, Xenox, and Genome just hosting things, and it's good to see like people like Racket and Vandy get more involved in the scene.
Racket and Vandy have been doing a really good job actually. Like Racket had to solo cast a few ESL nights, and he did a really good job. I was very impressed. And Vandy seems to I think she was doing HOTS work before coming over to Overwatch, and she seems to know her stuff and like want to work on the game as well.
Yeah, she's got studio experience. She's a very well-rounded caster. And then with Racket, he's come a long way. He hasn't given up. We went to like an audition with Throwdown a couple of months ago now. I remember just telling him, just keep like casting. Like, that was like, we had to give advice to each other. I think the main thing I said to him was like, never stop like casting. Always like be trying to jump onto something. Keep saying yes until you can start saying no to things. And even like, I'm really proud of him for like solo casting, because that just shows that you really want to do this. So I expect him to keep moving forward and eventually be able to do this like full time as his job, because he's getting so much better. And he only had the solo cast because I dogged him real fucking hard, because I had this come up pretty quick. And then a Genome went overseas. Xenox, he's busy as fuck at the moment as well with uni work, casting. So it was all down on Racket's shoulders. And he managed to pull it off. So big shout out to him. So, I don't know, that's, the results are pretty, everything seems to be pretty chill at the moment in terms of results, everything as expected. Does anyone got any thoughts of like the power rankings before I move on to the next topic?
Power rankings. I don't know. They were done. I didn't the other day. I don't think Cantus got his in, but everyone else did. They're pretty accurate. It's kind of I know it's strange, right? Like the top 5 are so close that Masterminds Blue takes best of 7 series versus the first place team. Like, it's that close at the moment. It's hard to rate these teams in order just because of that. I think once you start getting to the finals of these tournaments, where I don't know, the weight of the games is so much higher, you'll start to see like a clear difference between the teams. But at the moment, it's really, really close. Which
is a lot of fun, especially as a caster. It was very hard to get when we had Fusion Girls. It was very hard to hype up Fusion Girls versus like one of the bottom 4 teams in the top 8. It was a bit difficult to hype that shit up. But now, like, you know, it's easy to promote a game now, and most people will come. Like, most of the community will come watch it. So it's pretty fun. And going back through Twitch chat and seeing all the memes. The memes nowadays are so much better, so much high quality. Back then, it was always the same shit.
The storylines are getting quite good too, because it's like each of the top 5 teams has like 2 or 3 older players on it, and then like a whole bunch of new, fresh blood. Yeah. So you've got all these rivalries coming through and stuff like that. And it's sad to see the viewer base is still so small, but I think it's going to keep picking up if we keep presenting like consistent tournaments and consistent, broadcasts and stuff.
That's the whole idea. I want to combine the casual community with the esports community in Australia and get some more of the YouTubers involved with the pro players. So like Beck's the first hamster. So I'm a guinea pig. First guinea pig here.
Hamster.
Yeah, hamster. Fuck. What? Sometimes I just say things that are American. I'm such a traitor to this country. I'm a traitor.
I'm scum. Who is this man?
Yeah. That's what my mum keeps saying to me now in my house. Like, who's this man in my house? Get out. Okay. All right. I got questions for you, Beck. For anyone, I don't know how the YouTube landscape works. I just record shit and throw it up. I don't think about promotion. I don't think about how to do things for a living or about monetization. How does it work for anyone who wants to get into? I'm sure there's probably a lot of them. How do people, especially in Australia, get involved in the YouTube community and start getting their videos out there and start... how do they survive as like a YouTuber? How do they get involved?
I'm not sure if I'd be the best person to ask, just because, I'm not exactly high up there. But honestly, I think the main thing to remember is that it's the daily grind, basically. You can't just expect to get on YouTube, post a video, and immediately be super successful. Like, that's so rare. And when it does happen, they get the hype for oh wow, it's viral, and then it goes straight back down again. It's like really hard to just base that off one really successful video out of nowhere. So the main thing is, and I'm still doing this, as I've been doing YouTube for over a year, and I still am trying to work on my editing and get better and be consistent, which is kind of hard with uni and work. But The main thing is that you're making sure that you're doing it because you enjoy it. You can't expect to be making money straight away. You can't expect to have immediate success. You've just got to keep working and make sure that you really enjoy it. So yeah, that's my advice on that.
What about for pro players wanting to get their personalities out there more? Because
I guess I guess it's kind of hard to translate that sometimes. But I mean, like if you I know Trump, who is a Hearthstone player, he does his Twitch streams and he's just playing, but he gets he has an editor, which I know that's not really an option for some people, but he has an editor who can kind of put together the best bits, and then you can kind of see even if you're concentrating and you're trying to play well, if you can record that sort of stuff every now and again, even if you're concentrating, your personality comes through. It's just how it happens. And if you can just combine those best bits of what you think represents who you are and put it into a little compilation as a video, then that alone will show, you're not just like a robot just playing video games. You basically just got to give it a go. I mean, I know some people don't have a lot of time, so that's why they hire an editor. But yeah, I think it's a good way to just do a little compilation and just see how that goes.
I really want to see. I know that's not not every pro wants to do it, but I want to see more pro players streaming from our community and getting their personalities across, because that's one big thing to draw in viewers is if people want to see you win or lose. If you give people more of a reason to watch you when you stream, which makes you more valuable to whatever team you're on, more valuable to that brand. So, because I've seen you guys stream a bit, but I know with you, Drew, you kind of just do it to stream Dark Souls. You're a little bit more laid back, and whoever comes in and checks out your stream. But what about you, Ben? I've seen you start to stream here and there.
Oh, every now and then I turn it on, but it's nothing major. But I think I'll start streaming more now that the cable's back up and I can actually play some good games instead of just getting griefed on Oceanic games. But I 100% agree with that. Oh, we lost Drew. China's got him.
Oh no!
He'll come back.
But just on that, to get the easiest way for a professional player, I guess, to do it is it would have been good for Project to be here to answer this question because he's the one doing it. But just be consistent with your timings. Have a schedule, set your schedule, and also have something that you can bring. So whether it be the entertainment, whether it can be education, have that quality or that product that you can provide, I guess, on your stream. There's a lot of players at the moment doing it. So Color Hex from MGC Blue is streaming a lot. Adam obviously signed from Athletico. Project streams a fair bit. Jordation streams late at nights from Sin Gaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is important because you see these people, they get hosted by someone like Loserfruit or Oasis or something, and it brings in new viewers. Those viewers are now invested in the player that got hosted, and that player says, "Oh, I'm playing this game at X time, X day," and maybe those viewers will come tune in, and it's really good. It's great to see the streamers, especially the Australian ones, helping out the community, the professional community a lot.
Yeah, that's we need to all start working together, and I don't want to see any pros going on to streamers Twitch chats and just talking shit. I don't know, that used to be a thing, and trying to stream snipe certain people, but I think that sort of stuff's calmed down a little bit more now that the community's kind of settled in. But everyone working together. I was always nervous about working with some YouTubers because I just cast games. I just talk about other people playing video games, not myself playing games. So when I started meeting all these YouTubers, I thought oh fuck, this is going to be scary as shit. But everyone's really nice and approachable. So I want any of the pro players wanting to get out there with their personality a little more and build their brand. I want them to be able to connect with the YouTube community and the
I'm more intimidated by the pro players personally because I'm oh my god, these people do this for a living. They're amazing at this game, and here I am I forget to use E on Tracer to recall health sometimes. I just I'm more intimidated by you guys than you should be of me. I'm barely functioning as a human. Just
Well, Ben and Drew are definitely very approachable. Like we've all known each other since almost like the start of the scene. Seen Drew come up from I've seen Drew come like when he was one of his first scrims. When he was versing the old Jam Gaming. I can't remember what you called. Just I think you might have been still Untitled Spreadsheet then. I can't remember. Oh,
Probably.
Man, it was so fucking early on. It was just $120 tournaments back then. It's courtesy of Chris from Jam.
Yeah.
Look, old Chris. Okay, so for you two boys, so I'll alter the question just a little bit. First one, this is for you to answer, Drew. So I want you to be able to give advice on pro players already in the scene or people wanting to get into it, how for them to get to like where you're at now, because a lot of people probably want to get into your position where you can do this full time and be comfortable on a comfortable salary. Whereas for you, Ben, you've been in the scene for quite some time and you've managed to stay focused and you haven't given up yet, and the dream's still there, light at the end of the tunnel. I want you to be able to give advice over everyone else in the scene. Like maybe they're not in as a quality team as you, but at least what's some advice for them to just keep on track and keep the dream alive? But you first, Drew, and then you, Ben.
At the end of the day, there's some luck involved in it. Like, I think the biggest thing people need to do is take an opportunity when it's presented, and that's exactly what we did to be able to go over to Taiwan for OPC, which basically was the catalyst for our ability to do this as much as we do. So I think it's just about staying consistent, and you need to make sure it's something you want to do, because at times it really is just a grind, and if you aren't able to keep up with the grind, then it's probably not something for you. So we dedicate a lot of our time to this game. We're spending like 6 to 8 hours a day just scrimming, let alone playing comp and watching VODs as well. And that's like 5 to 6 days a week. Like, people need to be committed if you want to, be one of the best. So I'd just say you need to stay committed and take opportunities when they're presented.
What about when they start scrimming overseas teams? I remember when you guys started doing it, it became a fucking trend that no one wanted to scrim an Australian team because it meant you were shit. So people wanted. You remember this thing? There was this big craze about scrimming people from overseas. So has that died down now, boys, or like what's going on? Like, what's the advice on international scrims?
For me personally, like, I think at this point it's a bit harder with at least the current dive meta. I think like on 3-tank, the ping was actually. Having that extra ping wasn't too bad because it was a lot slower and you could micromanage more. It was about rotating ults to win fights rather than like having these mechanical matchups or diving at the right time or like seeing your opponent make a mistake and then just instantly having 3 people shift. And like, I think the ping is actually a bit more unfriendly now, or maybe I just think that way because I've now played against them on like 30 to 80 ping for such a long time now.
Yeah.
But I think the ping is a big deal. And you need to make sure you're getting practice that is actual learning rather than just, we're scrimming these good teams. That means we're good, right? Because it doesn't. And scrim results don't matter. It's just about learning from your mistakes or learning from the other team and trying to just improve.
And then for you, Ben, is you're in one of the top teams in ANZ. You've been the captain there for a while. Well, pretty much every team that you've been on, you've been the captain. So what is your advice to anyone who's new to getting into the esports scene in Australia or New Zealand, and for also advice for other people that are going through tough times, trying to deal with the grind and see the light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, it is just that, right? Like, there is this massive grind and there is a lot of luck to getting out of Australia in esports, but at the end of the day, you've got to present yourself for these opportunities to come up. Like, the Fusion Girls roster was together for such a long time. They dedicated themselves to each other to learn the game, to become better. It wasn't just they were mechanically better than everybody. Like, they put in a lot of work, and that's how they got their opportunity, because they were consistently better. They didn't let teams fluke maps off them. Like, it was consistent. But that's the main thing, you find your team, you find your guys that you like, you can stand grinding with as well. It's very important to have people that you can stand being around 6 hours a day in high stress situations as well. It's not always a lovely ride where you're just clicking every head and winning all these video games. A lot of the times you're losing a lot of video games. And one thing that you said about the international scrims, I agree 100% with the dive like it's being way harder on Blitz Dive because you are playing more of a reaction based, as in reaction times are significantly more important in this meta than it is in previous metas, you know, like Ryan shield trades, Zarya bubble trades, Ana nade cooldown trades and stuff like that. So much easier to work around and plan on high ping, where now it's like, hey, their Winston isn't in his bubble right now, we can kill him, basically. You know, things are so much faster and so much more reactionary, if that's even a word, that it's really hard on high ping. I don't know, like the top Australian teams, yeah, they could get some value out of scrimming these international teams, but it's not as big of a deal as people make it out to be at the moment. I think now the cable's fixed, a few teams might move towards scrimming like OPC teams again, which I think is good. The OPC teams you can play on fine ping, right? Because you can play on Singapore and it's fine. But I think scrimming Korean teams on Japan is not a waste of time, but you really need to have good analysis to learn and get the value out of it compared to like OPC teams and stuff.
Alright, well, we're at 1 hour in, so I know a lot of you guys have things to do, so now's the time where I start wrapping things up, and anything you want to talk about right now before we close up shop is now the time to raise your hand or throw a topic into the hat. Is there anything? Anything? I'm trying to do like ASMR crap. Do you know when they do like finger flutters and whatever the fuck? How's that like a thing when they do like they do like sounds and shit? Like, where do they get those ideas from that it relaxes someone? Because most of that shit I listen to doesn't relax me at all. It's just
ASMR creeps me out.
Yeah. Maybe you guys.
Nothing much. There's nothing much to touch on. Just from an ANZ competitive point of view, there's not much to touch on. Roster changes haven't been exciting yet. You know, we've got Anta now instead of Aaron. Aaron stepped down because he hasn't got the passion for the game, and just, you know, isn't really enjoying it as much. So we've got to put up with Anta now. Masterminds look to be doing some roster changes for ESL. They look to be forming some super team to take out ESL, which is I'm actually really excited to see how they go, because they've got some real fucking talent on that team.
Well, on ESL finals or?
Yeah. Because they've got Taki and Cantus on the roster from the main team, along with the blue players. So I don't know if I think they used Dalsu on Tuesday versus Four Legs, but Taki's like an incredible support player. Like, he's seriously underrated, and Cantus is obviously like a successful leader. So could be interesting to see that.
Are they going to merge the rosters?
I don't think they're merging for like future tournaments and all that jazz. I think it's just like an ESL thing.
All right, that'd be pretty cool. And on that, I hope they all decide to change the fucking date. Don't have anything scheduled on PAX. No one wants to fucking do that. People are going to go to PAX regardless, and then we're just going to have a fucking lackluster tournament. No one's going to give a shit about watching it then, because they know all those players missing. That means the casters aren't going to be into it, the players aren't going to be into it, and you just pretty much kill your competition. So, reschedule that shit. Make sure it doesn't clash with a bi-monthly, because they're the only two that we really have at the moment. So, fucking everyone who's on the admin teams for OCE, Overwatch, and ASL, get that shit sorted so we can have two good tournaments, because, you know, the players have played all season. They deserve to have as much viewership as possible and have like all the personalities there supporting them as well. So anything that you want to chat about quickly, Beck, like even about the road show that you're hosting, or anything that you want to talk about?
I think this has been, honestly, I've had a great time on this podcast. This is really fun. I think that's pretty much it. Come to Nana Wedding.
Nana Wedding.
on Friday to Harvey Norman. Plug.
Well,
but yeah, this was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun having you here. I'll definitely have you back in a future episode. These boys have been on numerous times as well, so they're just like Project. They might as well just fucking host the podcast. They could probably just take over it, and they don't even need me. Like I'm not even needed at this point. Anyway. All right, thank you very much. I'll let you do your shout-outs. You go first, Beck, and then I'll go down the line.
Follow me on everything. BlarueTheZebra. Ha ha ha. I think that's about it.
All right, I'll have like what do they call them? Annotations? What are those things that come up on YouTube?
Annotations.
Yeah, they'll come out of my mouth. Ready?
He's a YouTube superstar. He knows.
Yeah. All right. RQT, let's hear your goodbyes, mate.
You can follow me on Twitter. It's BLK_RQT. But thanks for all the support we've got. It actually means a lot to us, so we appreciate it, and hopefully we can keep doing well.
And of course, Smash Brother.
Well, just a quick note.
Yep.
There's been a post in the Division 1. Bi-monthly Brawl are rescheduling. They're moving their games on the 29th to the Tuesday, the 31st. So that's good. Thanks for all the support that we get as well. Even though we're the little shit babies of the scene, it's cool to see you guys in the chat and stuff. Go watch the APAC tournament with Blank in it, though. That's going to be fucking insane. It's going to be on the new patch. Yeah. Everyone's going to be able to learn stuff.
What's the date? What's the official date for that, Drew?
I think it starts on the 19th. We play on the 20th. But yeah, it starts very soon.
Like 2 days? 20th?
Yeah,
it starts in 1 day in 3 hours.
Alright, we're definitely watching that.
MVP space.
Let's go, boys. Smash them. How many teams in that? 8? Is that 8 teams? More.
10,
the group's right, and then there's more teams outside of the groups that have already made it through the groups because they're quote unquote better, which they are.
Okay, where's an English site to go to check out that tournament? Not just like the stream, but like all the details, so people in our region can check it all out.
Knew more, but I guess over.gg should have at least the basic information that people would want and like schedules and stuff. So you can check that out. Other than that, I'm not sure.
Alright, over.gg.
It's all on the OVGG site. I think Mert and Tachyon or something are covering it, and it's on the Play Overwatch Twitch, which is going to be good.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, all 3 of you, and I will have the next episode. We'll come back. I'm trying to do this every week again, so bear with me if I miss a week because we got PAX coming up. But I am recording another one next week. So, thank you very much for everyone, for you guys coming on and for everyone else who's tuned back in and for all the new viewers. Peace! I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye, take care, and don't get into trouble.